We're getting up and going here, guys. Give us just a minute. You should hear our audio and in a moment here. In fact, let me just do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and give you some video, and I'm going to check just a minute. Yep. All right. So we've got audio on our side, and it should pop video here in a minute. Yep, there we go. So we're looking good on our end. If you're out there in the chat, let us know you can hear us and see us okay. Once we get that all dialed in, we can get going here.
I see it.
And obviously, if you're a patron member, you're getting this raw in the back end of your accounts, not only live right now, if you're here chatting with us and interacting with us, but it also is in your account. It will stay in there even if you want to watch it later. But that's why you're seeing it in this format, us getting up and running. It is raw behind the scenes. And again, in your patron accounts, whether you're watching it live or watching it after the fact. So with that said,
Eric Kruger says, I hear audio and video.
Nice. Thanks everybody for being here and chat. With that said, it's Friday. We're excited and we're just going to get going here. All right, Lurch.
Yeah.
I want to play this. I'm not afraid to air a little bit of behind the scenes and maybe even some dirty laundry of law-abiding biker media. We're very transparent here. Very transparent.
If nothing else, we're transparent.
I don't get embarrassed about a lot of stuff.
That's true.
We get lots of voicemails.
That is true.
We don't play them all here on the show, but I definitely want to cover this voicemail, which we received just the other day.
One new message. Hey, this is Phil from the Small Wiener Club. Sorry to get back to you so late. I just finished reviewing your application and information you sent in, but I am sorry to say that I don't think I can allow you to join our group. From what I'm looking at, your wiener is massive.
Whatever.
I mean, the sheer girth and juiciness alone is ridiculous. It looks as if somebody glued a forearm to the bottom of your torso.
Lies.
Probably stand on it like a tripod. And that's not even mentioning how fat your nuts are. But it does appear that you're going to have to take that ginormous schmeat somewhere else. But thank you for trying, and best of luck to you.
So you weren't able to get into the Small Wiener Club? Is that what you're saying?
I tried, and you heard.
I thought you would have been a great candidate.
The result there. I'm a pretty humble guy. Apparently, I'm larger than I realize. Chew on that.
No, thank you.
Don't chew on that.
I'll pass.
Oh my God, guys. Oh, here's the deal. Lurch, you want to know how to have a fresh smelling and squeaky clean butt before riding?
I would.
So I'm going to tell you how. Chill out. Get hooked up with Dude Wipes flushable wet wipes. Oh yeah, your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air. I'm not kidding. Oh yeah. Don't forget, guys, mint version, our favorite, tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. It's like a breath mint for your ass.
Only way to go.
Oh,
don't mess around with those fragrance frees. Those are bullshit.
It's a cool feeling. Kind of like after you eat a mint and you blow and your breath feels cool when you fart.
What kind of
dude? It's a
breath mints are you eating?
It's a fresh minty feeling in my arse. Anything else on that, Lurch?
No.
Lurch always appreciates. lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-but. It's not a joke. We are selling the hell out of them because of you guys and your support. We wouldn't recommend if we didn't actually have large stocks of them. There's also travel ones. That's right. lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-but. No additional cost to you. But if you click through and make a purchase, we do get a small commission. It definitely helps support us. And thank you so much for that.
I got some travel ones in my bag right over there. If I was smart, I would have had one to show.
In my computer bag, right underneath the desk here. I got them all over the place.
Never leave home without them.
In my motorcycle saddlebags. That's the best place to keep them in case there's a roadside emergency.
Blowout.
Lurch.
Yeah.
I got
Do you want to handle this?
Yay! I got mail. Yay!
Absolutely.
We got us email, I believe, here.
This was an email, and it's about our Olean's suspension video.
Okay.
And this is from Byron Marks. He says, "Good morning. My name is Byron, and I'm from way down in Louisiana, and would like to say thank you for what you do. I've been riding for 42 years, and it's definitely a stress reliever."
Well, hi, Byron.
I have a question about Olean's front suspension. I have a 2016 Road Glide that I have 21-inch with a 16-inch stock rear. So he's talking about his wheels, 21 front and 16 on the back. And I would like to lower my front back to level without raking and also improve the ride. So my question is, would this allow me to lower it as well? I travel on mine and I have too much invested in it, so I'll be keeping it hopefully for many years to come. I trust your opinion on this and would appreciate any info on Olean's front suspension. Thanks in advance, and God bless to you and your family. Sincerely, Byron Marks. Our response: Hello, Byron. We installed the Olean's FKS 226 Harley Nix 22 front cartridge kit on Ryan's 2014 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Special. After riding it with the newly installed suspension on a 10-day, 4,000-mile trip and on many different road services, I can highly recommend the suspension and decided to carry Olean's right in our store. And in addition to that, the stock height, you can get a 1-inch lowered height. If you appreciate all the video, podcasts, and articles we put out, please consider supporting us by purchasing from the Law-Abiding Biker Store. We'll take care of you. Bikers helping bikers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And I think that kind of sums it up. lawabidingbiker.com/contact. That's right. You can leave us a message there, written message, or a voicemail right from your computer. That's right, from anywhere in the world for free, just the built-in mics on your computer. Again, that's lawabidingbiker.com/contact. And we appreciate Byron sending in the emails. And of course, we love those voicemails too. Love hearing your voices. Like to get you guys on the platform. Okay, guys, real quick. Serious note, vampires. Ran into these little boys, and I can't recommend them more. I don't recommend all tools, but these little babies are just fabulous. And if you don't know what they are, basically vampires. You can remove stripped, rusted, corroded, damaged jam screws, bolts, nuts, and more. We aren't associated with them. They don't sponsor us. I literally found these at a store one time, and I was sold on them. And we actually bought some of them, and we use them here in the Law-Abiding Biker Shop. That's right. Extract screws with unique heads, Torx, one-way or security screws, wire cutter, and cable wire twisting made easy. The most universal is the 6 1/4-inch version, and we highly recommend that version if you're just going to get one. Recommended right here by the Lab Crew. You can head over and you can support us at the same time. If you want to check out further on them, like I say, we actually have them, love them. I think you'll like them too. They have a lot of different things that they can do. lawabidingbiker.com/vampires. That's with a V, just like vampire, but vampires. Again, lawabidingbiker.com/vampires. Of course, if you click through and make a purchase, no additional cost to you, but it does help support us because we do get a small commission. One of our Amazon affiliate links.
In the chat, Timo Sturdivant says, I got some vampires because of you. I don't know how I lived without them for so many years.
Nice. Thank you for monitoring that chat, and thanks for the chat. I'm glad. Like I say, we don't recommend everything, but little finds like that we like to get out to you guys can make your life easier. So thank you for the feedback. Much appreciated. You want to ride longer? You tired of a sore and achy ass? That's right. Fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh, yeah. Once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and get hooked up now. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of 03D products. Oh, yeah, here we go. Had some good info up front there for you guys. Good email. But we got a deep dive today. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%
large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history by being here, by listening. You're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
There you go, guys. We do have just one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ooh, Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast. And, of course, your
high-tech redneck.
In the house right there. Mm-hmm. Lurch. Mm-hmm. There you go, guys. All right, Lurch, haven't seen you in we've been working remotely, and I've been working the other job, and we're back together today for a law-abiding biker work day. Haven't seen you in 10 days. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's things?
I'm a little upset today. A little mad, a little angry.
Really?
Yeah. As I was coming to see you this morning, it took me a little more time to get to Starbucks because that's where we'd like to meet in the morning for administrative time, get a little caffeine and a snack and do some work outside of the studio so that we're not taken up with things that are here. And it took me a little bit longer to get there because I was behind one of those big yellow buses. Mm-hmm. And that son of a bitch stopped at every freaking street. Just pisses me off.
It does piss me off, too.
No wonder these little kids are fat today because they don't have to walk. They just go right out the end of their driveway and the bus stops at everybody's damn driveway.
When I was called kids fat these days. Can you use that, dude? Or are you going to get canceled?
I don't care. I'm uncancelable. What are you going to cancel me? What do I care?
No, if we could be canceled, we would have been canceled a long time ago. We're cancelable. Is that a word?
Yes, uncancelable. You can't cancel us. I don't think it's a word, but
it isn't. We just made that shit up.
Every block you got to stop. I remember when I was a kid, I'm going to be like old man Lurch here with the rake and stand in my front yard going, get off my yard, kids. But my God, can't these kids walk a few blocks?
I agree.
We had kids from all over the neighborhood that went to one spot several blocks away.
Yep.
Not these little
No, that would be
kids.
cruel.
They got to stop at everything. Every
cruel and
corner.
inhumane to make a child walk these days.
Pisses me off.
Pisses me off too, Lurch. I feel your anger because I have seen the same thing in my neck of the woods.
You can't even get up speed to pass them. You can't
even
get around them because
we have to
so
meet
often.
and there was like 15 kids at a bus stop. They made you walk to certain areas. Now they'll stop one driveway away and the kids can't walk to the same frickin' driveway.
Now
pisses us off.
I remember my dad being my age right now and him telling me, son, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. And I didn't know what he meant. I know now.
Yep. All right. Now you know.
Screwed. We're screwed. These kids can't even walk a block.
Lurch used to walk to school both ways uphill in the snow.
With no shoes.
That's correct. We do sound like old guys. And somebody in here said Lurch is fat shaming. Now, the reason we can't get canceled for saying fat or calling kids fat is because we're fat. And so we feel the pain. But
now, if I was calling an
aside,
individual kid fat, that might be mean. I'm talking about
you don't have to defend
general.
yourself.
All kids in general.
There's a lot of fat kids these days. Yeah. That's just life. That's a fact. You can't be canceled for saying the truth, Lurch. We can't be.
That's right.
Try and cancel us.
Good luck.
We look at the opportunity to be canceled. We thrive on being canceled. All right. Husky. There you go. There's
a lot of husky kids out there.
They're husky. You just got to talk it out. You can't just call them fat. You got to listen. You were born a little husky, and listen, kid. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You're fat. That's how it was when I was a kid. You're getting fat, kid. Get out and exercise.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to shame somebody, but point out the obvious. And maybe they might make a change.
The truth used to count.
I made a mistake of making this comment recently in a group of parents, and they didn't appreciate my comment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Bunch of helicopter parents. Jesus.
Yep. All right.
Truth hurts sometimes.
The truth hurts. But we're not afraid to speak it here at Law Abiding Biker Media.
I feel better now. Thank you, everybody. That was very cathartic.
I can breathe better. It's not fat. Just people can see you better. It says Matthew Haywood. All right. Welcome, everybody in the chat. This is a live video broadcast and chat. If you're hearing this, you're hearing it months later. If you're in regular podcast format, because for our beloved patron members, we do these live, a lot of these behind the scenes with video broadcast and chat. And so you're getting this months later if you're just listening to it. And we're actually chatting with a bunch of our patron members. And so we appreciate them being in there. New free video Lurch wants to talk about.
It's the Harley's Deal with the Devil, the El Diablo. It's Ryan's review of the Harley Davidson Lowrider ST El Diablo, the icon. Check that thing out.
There you go. And got a ton of views on that thing and some information. And yes, that was
a neck bubble.
Just a juicy neck bubble.
You have more neck bubbles than anybody I know.
It's a thing. It's like, I need to look it up, see if it's like a condition.
I think it is.
It's only when I drink beer.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you give me beer when we're podcasting, I start getting neck bubbles, and I don't know why.
Just a little carbonation,
maybe
a little gas.
I don't get it with like sodas. It's strictly beer.
Maybe you got a barley allergy.
Maybe, dude. That's one allergy I will fight through.
Yes.
I could get swollen lips if I'm not stopping drinking beer, bro.
Sometimes when I have a nice tasty IPA, I can get a little congestion because I am allergic to like hops and whatnot. Just like the raw hops in the air, the fresh stuff. So some of these juicy ones give me a little bit of that, but I don't care. I just fight through it.
Attaboy. Don't be a quitter.
Yeah, my dad didn't raise no sissy.
That's right. You can't be a quitter. Now, we love our sponsors, of course, of the show. These folks are also a direct reason we are coming to you after 10 years. We are OGs. I consider us in this space, and that's directly because
old guys,
all our beloved patron members, and especially, of course, we want to thank some of our newest patron members.
We'd like to thank Glenn Campy of Arlington, Washington, right in our backyard. Sean MacArthur of Snohomish, not too far away from him either, in Washington. And Russ Parks of Tellico Plains, Tennessee.
Rashid Hilliard of San Antonio, Texas. Kirby Lee. Don Donnell of Santa Rosa, California. lawabidingbagger.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. That's right. There's a bunch of benefits going on for signing up, such as the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone. T-shirts, stickers. You get access to the live video broadcast and chat. Podcasts months early. Store coupon codes. What else, Lurch? Access to those
private rides and meetup events.
That's right, the meetup events and
what?
Premium videos upon request. See if you're on your toes.
I was looking at I was actually thinking of something else.
I'm going to make you do that whole thing one of these times, dude. But anyways, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. And thank you so much. Still going strong, and we couldn't do this without you guys. You know, I ramble about the beloved patron members, and I will continue to ramble whether you like to hear it or not. There's a reason I do, because we couldn't do it without him. And I know it's difficult times right now with the economy that's in just tip-top shape, and all our low inflation and low gas prices.
No supply chain issues.
No supply chain issues that doesn't exist. That things are just snapping. But on a serious note, because all that is going on and you guys are still sticking with us, because I know money's tighter than it's ever been. We're feeling the pinch, my family. It's weird, when it just everything adds up, man. And when you start, doubling things, and it's just, we really have felt the pinch. We're like, what the heck is going on? And then we have to talk about it's taking a toll, so the food, thank you.
The gas, everything is going up. And that monthly amount of money that you have is not going as far as it used to.
Yep.
And so speaking of that, before we get into the main topic, I just want to mention, because we are going to move this podcast up because it's time sensitive. Those of you that have listened to some of the last few podcasts will hear some commercials. We're using some an auto ads thing through Libsyn, the company that hosts our audio, and they're putting some ads at the front and at the back, and we've limited what's in the middle. I think there's only one ad in the middle. So
these are aside folks from the host Red, like the Ciro and Rick Rack and all those. Those are separate from what he's talking about. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So if you heard those, that's what's going on. And that's, it's something that's new that we jumped onto just to try out. But also, as you mentioned earlier, things are tight, and it's another revenue stream for us. So you don't have to listen to them. Just smash that forward button, 2 or 3 times to get by them. But I just wanted to mention that if you're hearing those recently, that's why. And we appreciate your understanding.
Yep. And we're working on that. It's another way. Lab's taking a hit here. We're still doing fine, guys, because of you and people shopping in the store. But money's tighter, and we're feeling the pinch, and we've got a lot of expenses to run a business like this. And so we're just monetizing in some different, it came available. And it's a way for us to make up some of what is being taken from us because of inflation and gas prices and everything else that's going on. So, we'll see. I appreciate you mentioning that, Lurch. So we got an awesome topic. We are going to dive in, and it's going to be a fun topic. I do want to say up front here, let me tell you this. The main topic, of course, Harley 2023 craziness, guys. I mean, we're going to talk about a possible, so is Harley closing their doors? Headquarters, are they going to close other buildings? Dealerships like crazy being bought up by corporations, independent owners getting pushed out. The Bronx Streetfighter, a trademark thing, the new possibly Pan American 975, a lot going on. We've done a deep dive into our research and pulled from a lot of different sources to get the best information on what we think is happening and what's going to happen. Right before this podcast, we did a talking head video, like I usually do. You guys know, a very succinct with all four of the aforementioned subjects. And that video is going to go into edit this weekend. I'll probably pop it Sunday night or Monday, but it'll be we're going to talk in deeper, as that's the great thing about the podcast. We have time and we can get your guys' input here too. We did draw from the private Facebook group for the talking head video and this episode, because there's been some conversations going on in there specifically about the scooping up and the forcing out of the independent owned Harley dealership. So anyways, with that said, we've got a lot to talk about, so let's just dive into it. So let's first talk about and chime in. We're going to monitor the chat as much as we can here, guys. We love interacting with you, and certainly if you have something to say or you have some knowledge, please drop it. And if we don't get to it, we apologize, but we will try to monitor it there. Tim Stewart event. Yeah, awesome. Just Eric Kruer. I hope I'm saying all your names right. I'm just mentioning some of the folks, some of the patron members in the chat. Greg Bunomo. I do have my glasses on. Who else? Of course, I already mentioned Matt Haywood's in there. And I'll try to mention some more. Rick Utag. Good. All right, guys. So with that, let's first talk about, is Harley closing their doors? All right. So I'll start with this, Lurch. If I can get this back. Hang on. All right. There we go. So are they closing doors? Well, at least those in the headquarter building, guys. Oh, did you put the actual Evernote in here, Lurch? I need that. I'll grab it.
Okay.
I'll just pull up Evernote and grab it because it's a little bit more succinct than what we're doing here. So stand by. And if you pull anything from the chat there, Lurch, feel free.
Okay.
While I'm getting this up and going.
This is exciting podcast.
Oh, it's great content, dude. My producer over there apparently didn't feel it necessary to have my notes up here. So I will just blame it on Lurch. God forbid we've only done this for 10 years.
I've got my notes here.
Because we always, when we do this, we take our talking head. And why is it not pulling up?
Maybe instead of doing these show notes, we'll just do the notes in the Evernote for the talking head and then just say C.
Well, that's what we always do.
That, yeah.
That's what we always do. That's what I'm saying.
I think this one was a little different because we planned on the video and then the podcast. And then after we got going on it, we said, this would be a really good video. So we kind of built the podcast first. All
right. So here you go, guys. So they are permanently closing the doors to its Milwaukee, Wisconsin headquarters building, which has served as such since 1973. So the answer is yes, they are closing that. So they're letting employees work from home on what may become a permanent basis. Harley's Milwaukee headquarters closed in 2020 due to the global pandemic, but Harley CEO Jochen Zeitz says the complex is going to be repurposed rather than reopened for workers. Neither Harley-Davidson nor CEO has specified exactly what its 500,000 square foot complex in Milwaukee, Wisconsin will become. Still, the company insists the location will remain an important location for Harley's presence in the U.S. Further, it seems Harley is fully embracing remote work and the flexibility and openness it brings. So having the ability to just push a button wherever that person sits, get that person online, or create a meeting that is not defined by which floor you sit on and who's in the corner office, Zeitz said in a recent interview. And he also says it democratizes the way we work together and allows you to bring the best talent into the company no matter where they sit. All right. we're going to talk a little bit, break this down, and we want to hear your guys' input. But interestingly is that Zeitz's philosophy is in stark contrast to that of Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who told employees recently they had to spend 40 hours a week in the office, and failure to show up would be considered a resignation. You got to love Elon Musk. Straight to the point, no bullshit. And this is the way it's going to be because I own the damn company. All right. I'm a little bit old school, so you don't have to agree with me, but I agree with his statement. So let's see, where were we at?
And I think I would to an extent, not completely.
Not completely what?
Agree that 40 hours in the office.
Oh,
I don't.
Well, it depends how many your work week is in the first place. If your salary and you're working 80 hours a week or 60 hours a week, then
you need to get a new job.
Well, I don't know. It depends how much you might be getting paid real good by Elon Musk. You might want to keep your job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think, well, we'll get to it when we get to the end of that topic, but
yeah,
I'm just saying, I don't know if I 100% agree with Elon.
Well, you better.
Or Harley. I'll give you my full.
Good thing you don't work for
later.
Twitter. You ought to be fired.
Oh, if I work for Twitter, I'd want to be fired.
Elon would throw you out on your head. Now, other companies such as GM have tried to take the approach or even a hybrid option, but have faced blowback. And even though Zeitz is embracing remote work, he still thinks face-to-face meetings are valuable as long as there's a clear purpose. He says, I don't want to see the exact same agenda we would have if we were on a screen. All right. So now we're going to get down to a little bit more discussion about it. What's my opinion on the matter? Lurch is going to already tried to throw in his opinion, which we don't listen to. It's only my opinion on this show. So I'm just teasing. No, Lurch has some opinions. I
have lots of opinions.
Oh, I know. And they all stink. Like assholes, right? Like assholes, they all stink. All right.
Everybody's got an opinion and they all they're like assholes, they all stink. Get it right. Get it right.
Yeah. Well, you just got it wrong too. So you can't say get it right. I had to correct you because you said it backwards. Well, you did. It's on recording.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Now you said it right. You didn't a minute ago. That's why I had to jump in and save you.
When I edit this podcast and put it out, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, no shit, dude. All right. So my personal, and then Lurch and I get it, the 40 hours, whatever. I personally think, even on Lurch's comment, is it varies industry to industry. Yep. So I don't think you can make a carte blanche statement about 40 hours. If you're a factory and you're putting motorcycles together, you kind of need to be there. But I do agree, depending on the industry is what I'll say. I recognize that there are some benefits to remote working, such as fewer distractions, obviously. Workers may feel less stressed and stay more focused. And of course, remote workers love having the flexibility in their schedules if feasible. Who can argue with that, right? With that said, I think Harley needs to tread very lightly here, because a huge part, I believe, of the motorcycle lifestyle is riding and hanging out with other like-minded bikers. You certainly want employees to embrace, live, and understand the motorcycle culture, and that's really hard to do remotely, in my opinion. I believe a ton of bonding, discussions, ideas, and a sense of belonging can occur during those in-office person hours, and those motorcycle rides to lunch and back, obviously invaluable. They just simply can't be replicated in a video conference, in my opinion, or those virtual check-ins. And I just want to say real quick before Lurch jumps in, also keep in mind this particular headquarters was people, the higher ups at Harley, the ones that are actually steering the ship. Interestingly, I pulled up Google Maps to make my point, and as you look at Google Maps and the headquarters building, what do you see? A shitload of motorcycles parked all around that building and around the street. And I just feel like that's a representation of what it means to at least some hybrid model, those guys getting together, riding to work. I mean, we ride when we're working together. We ride to the meet at coffee shop to do administrative stuff. We ride here. I mean, that's part of living, eating, and breathing the motorcycle culture. And when they get employees that are, eating a bagel, sitting on their computer instead of getting on their motorcycle and refreshing themselves. And I mean, I get a lot of ideas riding. That's where a lot of law-abiding biker ideas have come from, just on long rides where I can just really think things out. So that's my opinion. I think Harley needs to be really careful with going that route. And I would say, Jochen, I understand what you're saying about the meetings, but it doesn't have to be meetings. But I would require employees to at least come in a couple days to work and ride into work.
Couple couple good
Yeah.
comments here.
So yeah, shoot, go
before
for
I
it.
move into my comments. So Rick Uteg says, I work from home and end up working more hours and taking calls after hours. Thought I'd have time during the day to do more house chores, but that hasn't happened because he's a good employee. Eric, let's see. Eric says, Career says, exactly. Industry definitely matters. Then work ethics and that individually. Hated doing virtual meetings and trainings, but others liked it. So it kind of depends on the employee too.
Yep.
You're going to have employees that are stellar and some that suck in office as well as at home. So I don't know that should be a factor. It might be a little bit harder to monitor lazy employees when they're not at work versus
There is
when they are at
software
work.
for it.
I'm sure there is.
If it's specific software.
But you've probably seen the stuff on social media where people, hook a fan or something to, something to their mouth so it moves around so it looks like they're constantly working.
That kind of software, yeah. I guess it depends what it is, but
it's a little bit. I would think it's a little more difficult. It's not impossible.
like my wife
obviously, but
works
it's a
for the
little more-
feds, and they know what she's doing on the computer.
Yeah.
It can't just move the mouse around. You actually have to be like doing cases.
So you kind of alluded to it, and that's where I kind of lie is depending on the job that you're doing. Obviously, if you're putting bikes together, you need to be there. If you're in headquarters, maybe a hybrid system will work, or say that you work from the office 3 days a week, you work from home 2 days a week. There's definitely a lot of stuff that can be done at home as long as you are an employee that is working. We work a lot together, but we also work remotely, and you and I can set each other off on tangents quite easily. And so
you get me sidetracked all the time, you bastard.
and same for you to me,
Yeah, I do. I try to do it.
Yeah. So
because you always get pissed when you're in the middle. So hang on, I'm trying to finish this. He gets all serious with. I need to finish this before I move on to the next project.
Maybe that's because
we don't even take it personal. It's so funny, dude.
That is my nature, but I also think that was that's left over from the position I held when I retired. Was just back out of my office. I'll let you know when I'm available. I had that ability to do that.
Right. You could be an asshole.
Yeah, I could be.
Right.
I didn't have to be, but with some rank comes some privileges.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't. In there, you just got me off on a tangent.
I did.
Now I don't even know what I was going to wrap that up with a bow. And now
but let me tell you this, and it might wrap it up a little bit for you. I don't even think it's so much. I don't give a shit if the people are working for Harley or not. Whatever. That's their problem. I care about ruining Harley-Davidson as a company and their ability to connect with their customers and keep that lifestyle instead of just being a company that sells people motorcycles. Right. I want a company that is a motorcyclist and they live, eat, and breathe it. And they also want to sell you a motorcycle. That's fine. This is an interesting comment because I don't want to lose these comments. Steve Sturdivant, it says, it seems weird to have Harley remote. How can they relate with groups of riders and community when they are home alone getting husky in their chair? I agree with you.
Okay.
I don't think it's the best. Does that help, Lurch?
Yeah.
We could get into the whole productivity thing. I don't really care. That's Harley's problem. If people are going to be lazy at home, they'll have to deal with that. I just worry about what is it going to detach the company from the culture and the lifestyle.
So I got three things actually now that you bring that up. When I was in my 20s and looking for a career, I was looking for something that I planned to do for a long time, a company that I wanted to work for a long time. We grew up being brand loyal. Some people are diehard Chevy people, some people are diehard Ford, some are diehard Harley, some are diehard Honda. Those commitments to brands and to businesses and to companies is gone with this generation. They're not necessarily concerned about being in aerospace and working for Boeing for their whole career. They just want to be in aerospace, and they'll jump from any company that will give them the most for their most benefits. And I guess good for them to some extent, but they're less concerned about like a pension versus investing their own money. So they're a lot less brand loyal and jumping around. So Harley, while they may be offering some of this work at home and may be able to pull in some of these people that they wouldn't have before, I don't know that they're necessarily going to be diehard brand loyal Harley fans. And that leads a little bit to culture and not working in an environment where you're around each other. A culture is very hard to cultivate and maintain when you're not seeing your people.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a real struggle to keep that Harley-Davidson culture, like you talked about, the riding back and forth to work, riding to lunch, talking motorcycles, being together, those
bumping fists,
I can't tell you how many.
Talking about ladies that you saw over the weekend.
Yeah, sure.
Is that appropriate in the office these days?
No,
Can you do that? Oh, I do.
Not at all. Well, our office, we can do it. In corporate America, it's probably not.
Well, you just got to whisper, make sure nobody else is listening.
No.
All right.
But I can just say I can't remember how many decisions came up with through hallway conversations and unplanned meetings that those conversations wouldn't have happened when people were working remotely. There's just a lot that just happens organically when you're hanging around each other. And you talked about some of the companies that are having a hard time bringing people back, like GM and some others have revolted. I think that's not an industry issue, or it's not specific to the car industry or the motorcycle industry. That's just going to be a problem for everybody in general. Luckily, I retired before we had to figure out how to bring everybody back. But I can imagine if I was an employee that got to work from home for 2 years, now I have to come back to the office. That would be a big change, and I wouldn't necessarily want to come back. So
that's why I like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I don't know when it became in this society. I'm going to get on a tangent.
Go ahead.
I don't know when in this freaking, I'm just old school and I'm grumpy. So bear with me. I don't know when it became okay for an employee to tell an employer that, like Apple's doing right now, to tell your employer that you're not okay with coming back to work. Are you fucking kidding me?
I just heard that this morning with Twitter.
It boggles my mind. That's why I like Elon Musk. No, come back or resign, you dumbass.
Twitter.
That's I may not be, I don't have to deal with employees like that.
Well, I'm not.
But I would
back.
say it like that.
I'm not coming back.
Well, and we're going to talk about how we do things here. So, yeah.
Twitter's doing the same thing. The employees of Twitter sent a letter to
that was Elon, so funny,
demanding that they continue to work from home.
And this is what happened to that letter. I just want to do a visual. Here's what Elon did, and it's exactly what I'd do. Then don't come into the office because there's lots of people that need jobs. So, yeah. All right. I'm not going to go off on that tangent, but here's the deal. So here, to give you a little insight, here at Law Abiding Biker Media, we do, employees do work remotely. We have to, it's just the way it is. But I will tell you, that although we have a hybrid model, kind of, and it does work. We do get a lot done. He needs to edit audio. I need to edit video. You can't be together, and it doesn't do any good to be together when you're doing that, or you just sidetrack each other. We're way more efficient. That's just one example. But it's simply here, guaranteed, as the owner of this company, it will never replace, ever, the times when we actually hang out together and we do, like today, we worked all day one-on-one in person, Lurch and I. Those are the times we hang out, laugh, bullshit, and ride frickin' motorcycles together. And that is when the magic always happens. The ideas, the flowing of conversations, even going riding to lunch. You just cannot replace that. And I'll make sure, obviously, bootstrap company here. We are motorcyclists through and through, bikers. And to me, as we hire people, that's one thing we look for. You gotta understand motorcycles, you gotta be able to ride motorcycles. If you're going to talk to people on email, you have to understand the culture. And that's just kind of how we built the foundation of this company. And that's where I plan to remain. Real bikers helping real bikers. So.
And if Harley-Davidson's smart, they'll do the same. And from what I've seen so far with the folks that we've interacted with at Harley, they all eat, breathe, and sleep motorcycles. So if they continue that, I think that'll be very beneficial to them.
Yeah, right. Sorry, I heard you, but I was also reading a comment. Tim Sturdivant says, Musk buying Twitter and saying, quote, "You can continue to work from home, just not for Twitter." See, I love that shit. Oh God, I love that stuff. It's just different times, and I'm a little bit crusty, I feel like, sometimes on that. So I'm told by my daughter, who's actually very, very smart, but it's a little bit different generation. She doesn't agree with all of it, sure. But I think, anyways, let's move on. I think there's a hybrid model in there that companies should look at, like us. Yeah.
And all that said, I don't know how much that'll really change the culture, and especially at the user level, how much are we going to see? But this next topic we're going to move into could definitely have some changes, and as customers, we might really feel it.
Yeah. And love your comments coming in, guys. Thank you. I really do. We're trying to monitor. I'm getting in there to run while I'm running the show here. Eric Kerr says 100% Ryan in response, I believe, to my comments there. Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on there. Yeah, so Tim Sturdivant going back
Timo.
up here. Or what's that? Or sorry, what did I say?
Tim. You're saying Tim.
Oh, sorry. It is very small, and I do have my glasses on. Timo, sorry about that. I think they could have some in and some out. Accounting and things could work from home. I agree there. But how do you R&D from home, right? Mm-hmm. Are they running their refrigerators on the dyno in the kitchen? Yeah. Good comments, guys, in there. Gary Jackson's in there. Hey, Gary, thanks for popping in. Yeah. Good stuff. We could really beat that to death. I think we kind of did, but I think it's interesting. So time will tell, what's going on with headquarters closing and as the company removes to some of that remote working. We will monitor it, and we may, if things don't go well, we may be revisiting this in the future. How about that, Lurch?
Sounds good, buddy.
Whew, a lot going on, and we still got plenty to talk about, guys. So we want to do this very briefly for you. Lurch?
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has a product you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley, Davidson, and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. 03D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. 03D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus, plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Honda or Harley dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out 03D's custom line of Gold Stripe products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of 03D products.
There you go, guys. All right. We're going to dive in to the next topic here, and that is some of our independent dealerships. This is one of the private Facebook group conversation that was going on in there. So let me get this. All right. So it's true. Yes. We'll dive right in here that some smaller independently owned Harley dealerships are in fact closing their doors. In fact, the Denver Post reported this month that Rocky Mountain Harley-Davidson, the oldest family owned dealership in Colorado, is shutting down at the end of this month. All right. The longtime business, founded in 1979 by owner Kathy Yavoli, who still serves as Rocky Mountain Harley-Davidson president, has fallen victim to a corporate downsizing strategy, said Marina Yavoli, Kathy's daughter and director of marketing at the Littleton Motorcycle Dealership. We are closing not by choice, Marina Yavoli said. To be politically correct, they, Harley-Davidson, are condensing the market and independent dealers do not fit the mold. They are doing away with the family-owned businesses. The dealership's Facebook announcement goes on and in part said, based on changes in this overall market and in accordance with Harley-Davidson Motor Company's network strategy, we will be retiring as an authorized Harley-Davidson dealership. In response to this information, members of our law-abiding biker patron-only member Facebook group, like I told you guys, started this group discussion, and they did confirm there were some confirmations in there, guys, of dealerships closing and being bought up. The trend seems to be that instead of only one owner per dealership, one dealership, large entities and corporations are buying up multiple dealerships. This seems to confirm the Denver Post article about independent dealerships being forced out for bigger entities or corporations to come in. So it seems Harley is restructuring the dealerships network, and maybe from their interests, I should say, it may make sense dealing because one owner would basically own multiple corporations that have to deal with less owners, if that makes sense. All right. That makes sense, Lurch?
More or less, yeah.
More or less. All right. The real question is, what does this mean for the average Harley-Davidson customer like us? Here are some of the great comments and insights from the awesome members of our private Facebook group. Lurch, you want to take the first one there from patron member Don Reimert, who actually started this conversation. Thank you, Don.
Don says, it appears Rossmeyer's Destination Daytona is being sold, but the main players stay in place. Black Hills Harley-Davidson is apparently being sold as well. Again, the main players stay in place, supposedly. There's also a rumor Myrtle Beach Harley-Davidson is on the block as well. Who's buying up these places and what are their plans? Does corporate think this is a good idea and or are they promoting the idea? I don't like it much. Maybe it's good for the industry. I don't know. There were several replies to that post, a couple of them that we wanted to highlight here. One is by patron member Rick Kemner, and he wrote, I don't think it's Harley's intention to force out independent dealerships out. It's simply what we're seeing in many businesses and industries. Small businesses are being gobbled up by bigger corporations, often multifaceted. For users, in the end, it usually is not advantageous. Experienced staff are replaced with inexperienced staff as they are cheaper. Service also suffers and customer relationship suffers. The only advantage is access to larger inventory of bikes and parts, drawing from multiple locations. Though it's not always advantageous to the customer, as they are less willing to consider better pricing and fail to take those extra steps to serve the customer.
And in response to that, patron member Mark Arnold from Canada, shout out Canada. My dealership was bought by a group that owns 4 others. Look at those comments too in there, Lurch. Let's clean some of those up. Gary Jackson talked about Black Hills when I get done with this. Anyways, Mark goes on to say, yeah, my dealership was bought by a group that owns 4 others. Since then, most things have deteriorated. They got rid of many of the longtime experienced staff and replaced them with kids who have no experience or customer service skills. They refuse to do anything more than the absolute bare minimum to support our Hog chapter. Membership in Hog has dropped in half since they took over. The only positive I've seen is that sometimes they can get parts shipped from other stores when things are on back order from Harley-Davidson. All right, guys. And we appreciate that's some of the great conversations. That's one of lots of great conversations of civil conversations in there in the troll-free private Facebook group.
And what Gary in live chat here adds is, got my bike out of the hospital and asked him about Black Hills HD being sold. He confirmed they sold. I was told the main players were locked into 4 years. Then he didn't know what the plan would be.
Good info, Gary. Thanks for sharing in the chat there. My thoughts, and Lurch should probably have some thoughts, and we want to hear your thoughts in the chat as we continue this. So my thoughts are that Harley should be careful here. If they are in fact snuffing out independent dealerships and going more corporate, which all the evidence is pointing that way, I think that move could potentially hurt them in the long run. And here's what I mean. You see, many longtime Harley owners, customers, and newer customers for that matter, I guess, they've built a personal relationship, guys, with their independent dealerships and the personnel in those dealerships we have here. I know that. That's kind of what I'm speaking from a little bit. And they've been treated in a very personal way. An independent owner takes great pride, for the most part, in their dealership and their customer service. Not all the dealerships, but a large portion of them. You see, it's more of a family-friendly environment, a one-on-one experience, in my opinion, that a lot of Harley owners are kind of accustomed to over the years. And it very well may be one of the reasons they're actually being brand loyal and sticking with Harley, among other things. And don't forget, many of these independent dealerships, have become staples of their community. Our local dealership has Trunk or Treat. Big deal down there. There, a lot of the toy runs for, the battered women's shelters and domestic violence and every cause in between. A lot of the poker runs run out of there.
They do a Hogs and Dogs just about every Saturday where they support local charities.
Yep. I live just outside of Yakima City, but Yakima City, population of about 100,000. I guarantee motorcycles or non-motorcycles, if anybody's been there for a year, you ask them where the Harley dealership, they know where it is. And that's just kind of, how it's been for so many years. I don't think Harley customers are going to take that kindly. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat. I have no problem with debate, but I don't think many of the customers are going to take it kindly, like ambiguous large corporations coming in and buying up mom and pop's longtime owned dealerships. It kind of goes against the grain of what Harley is kind of an American company, and mom and pops bought these dealerships 30 years ago. They've been in the family for a long time. They've been passed on generationally. I don't know if that's a good look. I don't know if it's a good look for Harley-Davidson as a company. Could be wrong. It may not matter. They're probably going to do it regardless, obviously, of what people say as they restructure, but that's just my upfront opinion. It does seem to be the way many industries are going these days. Like we all know, Komodo Holdings Incorporated, you've got Revzilla, you've got Cycle Gear, JMP Cycles, Rever, Common Tread is another one, that's part of Revzilla. You've got these big, what is Komodo Holdings Incorporated, right? But you've got all these huge motorcycle companies, and I have seen changes when, Revzilla started out as a small company. They're still great for motorcycle gear. So I'm not talking bad about JMP Cycles and all that. We all get stuff from there. I mean, we have a store, but we just don't carry as much stuff as them. We're small guys. But I have seen changes over time with lack of connecting with bikers anymore. They become, it's a transition from being we have to be careful here. You become you are a bootstrap company, and then at some point you get a little bit bigger than your britches are, so to speak.
You get too big where you can provide that.
But
you get
right.
too big where you can't provide that personal touch.
Right.
And that's kind of what's
a fine
happened.
balance.
That's what's happened with a lot of those companies.
Yep.
And another downside is when they're all owned by the same company like Komodo, it used to be that if you...
It's the same shit. You can't price check. It's all the same.
Worse than
right?
that is you used to be able to go from one to another and maybe find something. Mm-hmm. But now if it's out, everybody's out because they're all getting it from the same warehouse.
Yes. Oh, good point, bro. Yeah, it pisses you off. You're like, why am I even searching on JMP Cycles or Cycle Gear?
Because
they have
one.
all the same shit,
you go to
same
one,
price, they're all out of stock, and you go, oh, maybe JMP Cycles has the size pants I need. Nope, they're out too. Yeah, it's like, just why are they doing that? Just make one damn store. Make it a new name and just make one big ass store, because it's dumb to have 4 stores that are selling the same shit. I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but it kind of is. To go back, it is kind of the way a lot of industries are going, and I guess only time will tell. Any other opinions or thoughts or anything going on in chat on this?
There's a couple things and nobody's disagreeing with you, but we do have some comments. So Eric Kruger says, we had a dealership in Traverse City close. They handled more than just HD, which is like our dealership here. They've got all kinds of motorcycles, but HD is one of them. Then had a bigger dealership open a t-shirt shop in downtown Traverse City. This is who bought them out. And they had 3 or 4 other dealerships. So he's just confirming that, you're finding people that own 3 or 4. And just to go back to one thing that Gary said, he said he was told that the main players, we've heard that a couple times, the main players will remain in place. But what he adds to it is they're only locked in for 4 years. So, this large corporation comes in, they know that they can't just buy it and put new employees in there. Part of the deal, generally speaking, is when you buy out a company is you keep your executives and some of the people on for a certain amount of time to transition. Mm-hmm. So it will be interesting to see. People may not feel the change at first because those main players, if you will, are still going to be there running the show. But what happens when they move in 4 years?
Yep.
What kind of transition is that going to be? It'll be interesting.
Good comments. Thank you so much for being in the chat there. I will mention that personal experience, our local dealership within the last year, the guy that owned it here locally has owned it for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, since the early 70s.
Yeah. And he's been the only one, and is a family owned Harley dealership, and everybody knew him in town. He owns a lot of other real estate and stuff too, but they got bought up by 3 investors. And I know the new owner, one of the investors who's the main guy running it. A lot of changes happened. Like,
anytime you bring in a new owner,
we knew the employees for years, and like, there's only a couple. I mean, there was an exodus, and they're probably hiring some other people, and none of them are bad. I don't want to say that. We're getting used to some of them, but it's a different dealership, and they're doing this power sport. So it's not called Harley. It used to be called Owens Harley-Davidson. Now it's Apple State Power Sports. They got all the side-by-sides, and they're, they got a whole bunch of other stuff
bringing in some
going on besides Harley. So did Owens.
Yeah.
I mean, he was starting.
But when it was Owens Cycles, his main thing was Harley. But he had the other brands he had were big name brands. This newer company is bringing in some of the cheaper stuff. Some of the, I can't remember the brands, but some of the knockoff shit.
Knockoff
Korea.
Four-wheelers, all that knockoff shit that, when it breaks, you just throw it away. But if it lasts you for a couple of years, cool. Right.
And my understanding of the other investors are they're diversified in different car things and ATVs and side-by-sides. And so it kind of makes sense that they're diversifying. Now, from a business standpoint, I guess that makes sense for them to diversify and be able to sell all kinds of different things. But as brand loyal Harley riders, it's sad to see that Harley may not be the main focus of that dealership anymore.
Yep. I think you start detaching from your customers.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like it used to be.
It did.
If it wasn't the big, it was definitely a major focus if it wasn't the main focus. And now I'm afraid it may not be.
Yep. A lot of comments going on there. I'm reading some of them, guys. How personal does it feel? Timo says, how personal does it feel when you go to Walmart? There are Walmarts everywhere, but they are just a place to get stuff. Yep. And I don't want it to become that. That's what I worry about. Anyways, we'll see on that.
It makes sense from a business standpoint. If you're thinking from,
Jochen
or whoever. I'm just saying from the top.
Right.
If you're just thinking about business.
Money.
It may, yes.
Because business is your customers. Yes, so you have to think about customers. But from a money standpoint.
I'm just talking about money. From a business standpoint, it may make sense to kind of shrink your network a little bit down and deal with less owners.
Right.
So you've got less people to direct and move.
I get that model.
From a top down. Now, from a bottom up, it doesn't sound great at all because of all the things we just mentioned where you lose that personal relationship and all of that.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. I'll be curious.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll watch it, guys. And we may be revisiting this too. Our dealership has changed a lot.
These two topics, closing down, remote work, and then the change in the dealer network, it all kind of is hand in hand.
Yep, absolutely. We will definitely be watching. Like I was saying, our dealership has had a lot of changes. I'm not going to get into it right here. I didn't even tell you about this, Lurch. We're going long, and we've got more to talk about. But there's been some negative changes. I will just personally tell you within my local dealership. Well, there's been some good changes too.
Oh yeah.
But there's been some negative changes that I've seen too.
Yeah, a couple of the young guys that they brought in back in the service department, they're very personal and they've been good to deal with as far as I've noticed. And they don't seem uneducated in motorcycles. So there's definitely some positives, some negatives. Anytime that you have a change in leadership, the people that have been there for a while are either going to like it or hate it.
Yeah. When you have three investors coming in, I think it's more than if you just had one mom and pop's owner coming in and buying it.
Maybe.
I just do. When they see a corporation coming in, you're going to have a lot more exodus because even working for a corporation rather than a smaller business like ours is just, some people don't want to do that. They want to work for a smaller company where they feel like they're not a number.
Right.
So anyways.
In general, people don't really like change.
Very true. Including you.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Fucking goes off the handle every time a software changes. Jesus. I think he's going to
I had my process down and then they just changed
break out a window or something.
No warning.
Hey, are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords. They can come loose and slap your paint.
Slap your paint.
That's right. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Yep, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out our full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back.
Sorry.
What are you waiting for, Mike Alex?
Reading forward.
What are you waiting for, Mike Alex? Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. And we really appreciate your support and shopping over in our store. All right, moving on. The Pan America.
Looking at some 2023 predictions. What do we think is going to happen with this next year's model lineup?
So here we go. Let me get this queued up. And all right, let me jump back up here. So here you go, guys. This is exciting. This is probably, for me personally, one of the most exciting things that we're going to talk about here today. And that is the Pan America 975.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's no 975. It's 1250.
I know. Well, here we go. It's not surprising.
What are you talking about?
We have a we have a lot of information that another model aside from the 1250 of the Pan America will be coming out. It's not surprising to me since Harley's first stab at the adventure market, which is just blew. I was so happy, blew, because there was a lot of naysayers. Don't get me wrong. I like the BMW 1290. I wasn't
sure if it'd be a hit. I got to be honest. I don't know if I was a naysayer, but I was skeptical.
We did podcasts on it, and we were like, not sure. It's going to come in overpriced, not going to be everything. But with that said, we definitely tore it apart before it came out, and we were pretty surprised and happy with it. Anyways, first stab at the adventure market was the Pan America 1250, which quickly claimed the title of the #1 selling adventure motorcycle in North America, beating out other long-standing adventure motorcycles like the BMW 1250 GS Adventure. And again, love that bike, love the BMW, and some of the other, KTM and Yamaha and stuff like that. But I just figured the 1250 was the biggest competitor. I just figured they were going to come in overpriced, like we said, and it wasn't going to be. But blew, and you're talking about BMW has been making adventure bikes, blew them away. Came in, first bike, bam. Basically, Harley went over to BMW, dropped the mic, pulled their pants down, gave them a BA, maybe spread their cheeks a little bit so they can see the button, and walked out.
The what?
The brown button.
Oh, okay.
Just saying, dude.
The button.
That's pretty much what Harley did to BMW on that. It was pretty amazing. It shocked the industry. It really was. Ground for a first model, that just doesn't happen. And they beat them on price. They beat them on function and what you get in that bike, and they beat them on price at the same time. I mean, Harley really bent BMW over on that. Bam! Gave him a little slap on the ass. Have we been canceled yet?
Not yet.
Can you still slap people on the ass? All right. Anyways, all right.
In certain situations, I think it's okay.
I think it is too. And of course, I did the very popular Sturgis Pan America video, so make sure you guys check that out, ride and review, when Harley had me down to Sturgis to check that thing out. So here's the evidence of this, guys. So earlier this year, signs of the new Pan America 975 were mistakenly mentioned on Harley-Davidson website for an accessory locking fuel cap. Now, if you think this is odd, it's not, because it's happened to Apple a lot. Apple tries to keep their stuff really secret, but once in a while, their developers get ahead of themselves and they put something on the website in a back place and somebody finds it. And of course, articles start coming out and people start freaking out.
And apparently it's still out there in a few countries that there's like 9 countries that aren't controlled through the corporate as far as the websites. And apparently it's still like in Russia and some of these places.
So if you speak Russian.
Apparently that information's still out there.
Yeah. So the fuel cap was listed as, it was a locking fuel cap. The fuel cap was listed as being compatible with the current Pan America 1250 model, as well as 2 unnamed models. Those are the R8 975 and the R8 975S, which I assume to be the new Pan America models, which will be powered by the 975cc version of the Revolution Max engine, like the one in the new Nightster. And of course, I did they flew me down to Santa Barbara to test ride and review that Sportster Nightster, whatever you want to call it, the Nightster. And make sure you check out that video too if you haven't. It's a ride and review. All right. Do you want to talk about the NHTSA stuff? Further proof comes from
NHTSA, from its recall pages. This page lets people look
the
up
National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in case you guys don't know what NHTSA is.
The page lets people look up recalls, safety investigations, consumer complaints, and manufacturer communications in NHTSA's system. As of this writing, if you click on the Vehicle tab and search for RA975 or RA Robert Adam 975S as in Sam, you will find 3 service bulletins for a 2022 Harley-Davidson RA975 and RA975S.
I just dropped the link in there for you guys in the live chat if you want to go to NHTSA and hit the Vehicle tab and then drop that in there. Very interesting. Now, the fact that the smaller Pan America was mentioned on the Harley website would suggest to me that they likely plan to include the mid-sized adventure bike this year in 2022, but decided against launching it for whatever reason. And maybe we can only suspect that it was due to supply chain constraints.
Yeah, some of my research pointed at maybe semiconductors.
Semiconductors from Ukraine.
Yeah, or
right?
Taiwan or wherever they come from.
Well, let's look it up now. I don't want to be wrong.
I thought a lot of them came from Taiwan, but not that it matters a whole lot.
I could be totally wrong.
But I could see when you have such a huge parts and accessories catalog and you go in and try to scrub that, 975 and 975S information, it'd be pretty easy to leave a few crumbs behind like they did. So what is your research tell
I don't
you?
know. I'm looking. I could, 7 leading. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Capacitors. Or you said resistors. It's
Semiconductors.
So
There's a lot of vehicles that are having issues with
yes.
that, or manufacturers.
Ford had a whole bunch held up on the line, right?
Chevy had a bunch just sitting in parking lots that are completely built, Tahoes and whatnot. In fact, before I retired from the State Patrol, we were trying to buy a bunch of Chevys, and they were on back order, and we were told that they were done and just sitting in parking lots because they didn't have the chips, the semiconductors put into them.
Interesting. China makes a lot. I don't know.
It's on the internet. It must be true.
It's on the interwebs.
It's also on the internet that I'm a French model.
We don't know what the fuck we're talking about anymore. But anyways,
So it must be
I
true.
just caught that. If you guys know. Remember
that commercial?
I'm not going to get on that tangent. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All right. And likely I am because I'm often wrong. All right. So, that's great news there that you're a French model on the internet. Do you have an OnlyFans page? Is it OnlyFans?
I wouldn't know.
You send pictures of your feet and shit to people?
No.
You don't shave your toes and send just a picture of your big, hairy, big toe and they pay you like $50? Do you wiggle it? You do a video and you just wiggle your big toe? That's a creepy place, dude. The more I hear about OnlyFans, it's a creepy fucking place.
I think they tried to clean it up a little bit, but it was basically, it was meant to be something like Patreon.
Right.
Where you could support creators, but
clean platform like
turned
Patreon.
Into trash. It turned into a porn place.
Let me know if there's any comments.
In fact, one of the funny stories I remember about OnlyFans is you and I were walking around Sturgis 2020. Yes, 2020. And, obviously you get recognized quite a bit. But we were walking down the sidewalk and there's this gal that had just pasties on and a little bikini. And she was a very well-endowed young lady.
She had big tits is what you mean? We're canceled after this episode. Talking about fat kids. Tits and what else? I threw some other shit out there too.
She caught my attention, and apparently I looked, and I don't know who. There's a guy walking right behind her. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or handler or whatever he was, but he hands me a card. gives me a smile and hands me a card and walks off. And I look down at it, and it was an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells you what that website's all about.
I remember that.
Anyways, sidetrack.
Right, so my prediction, my prediction, and then I think Lurch will be in line. It's ours. Yes. Okay. It's collective. Is that the new Pan American 975 will come out sometime in 2023. I will also note that Harley-Davidson is expected to announce the bulk of the 23 models in January. All I can tell you is going to be an exciting year. We've already talked to our particular Harley representative. Obviously, they can't tell us. Any research we have here is our independent research and really digging in. They obviously can't release any of that information to us, but there's some big things coming. And I know that we're on the hook to test ride, review some bikes. And I can only hope that the 975 is one of them. But some big things coming both for us and, of course, within Harley-Davidson. I think it's going to be exciting. I was a little worried about what was going to happen. 2022 was good. We had some great releases, a fun year. And I think 2023 is going to be as good, if not beat it. So I'm really excited. Hopefully in January. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they're going to follow the same kind of template that they've used last year or two, where they'll release the bulk of the motorcycles in January, but they're going to hold some to release at special times, whether it's April, whether it's August. We've seen that they've dripped out a couple more, usually something new, something special, and then an icon. So I wouldn't be surprised if after the main launch we see one or two more bikes. Oh, and we got the enthusiast collection. So we got 1, 2, or 3 more that could be dripped out throughout the year.
Yep. Awesome. I'll also say that I am super stoked, guys. Hopefully see a lighter, smaller, less expensive Pan America. I've been waiting for this. I love the Pan America 1250, but we really needed something in the middle.
If you were to have one bike, that 1250 would be great. But us who tour on the Grand American touring bikes, the Road Glide, the Street Glide, don't necessarily need that big of a bike.
Right.
We like our adventure bikes to be a little more dirt orientated, and
like our KLR 650s.
Yeah. So for us, somebody likes to tour on a standard touring bike. This 975 is very intriguing and appealing.
It is. So be curious to see about that. Smaller, less expensive, lighter. The 975 in this case, of course, that will compete with the likes of the Yamaha Tenere 700. This is the part of the market they need to hit. Honda Africa Twin and the KTM 890. Did I mention anything else? Oh, the BMW GSF 850, just to name a few.
The midweight bikes
they're
are definitely popular. They're really popular.
And if Harley comes in again with more features, especially for me, big deal. I am turning 50 next month.
You old bastard.
I am fucking old.
I'm not
now.
too far behind you.
God, feels weird.
Whoa.
Neck bubble. That's what happens when you're 50. You get neck bubbles. You get hairs.
That's what I have to
weird
look forward
hairs
to.
that grow out of your forehead too.
Overnight.
Just like overnight, you wake up and your wife's like, you have a big hair, and she plucks it. You lose your dignity when you get old. But if Harley does it right, comes in, what I was saying is the big thing is for me, the KLR 650, even at 50 for me, is getting hard for me to get my leg over it, especially up in the mountains, and I'm tired and I've been riding hard, the gravel, the dirt, and then trying to, Lurch hears me, I'm always like, I actually do a grunt and I get up over it. Once I'm on it, I'm good. But if this new 975, especially the S model, comes out with that lowering technology, where that ride lowering technology, where you slow and then it lowers, oh my God, I'm going to have to save my pennies this winter. I'm not having a Christmas. I'm telling the family, we're not having Christmas. I'm saving money for the 975. If it has that, I am going to be super intrigued as a possibility for me to get rid of the KLR 650 and move into the 975. But if Harley does it right, comes in like the 1250, lower price, more features than any of those other aforementioned bikes, and just drops the mic, bends over, spreads the cheeks, button shot,
Shows the button.
and just walks out. I am going to be so laughing because a lot of these bikes have been around for a while, and it's not. I like the other. I love KTM. I'd love to have a KTM. So I'm not talking bad. The reason I want to see that is because it shakes the industry. And anything, these other bikes have been stale for a long time. The the 850 GS, all the shit. They just keep making the same stuff. And if Harley takes it, always. I compare them, compare it to like Apple, who's always pushing, and then Android chases them or whatever,
Competition.
Exactly. And with some of the newest features, I think that's good for the industry. That's why I like it when somebody upsets. I don't care who it is. I wouldn't care if it was KTM that dropped it on Harley, whatever. I just want to see somebody do it because I know that that's good for the industry. And there you go.
Eric Kruger says, "Oh crap, I got a ton of those hairs."
Yeah. They get more frequent. No shit. All right. And can't wait to test ride and review the Pan America 975. So if it comes out, guaranteed, one way or another, we're going to have one, and we will test ride and review it. What I want to do is take it up. I'd like to go wherever, if Harley sends me somewhere to test ride it and all that. But to have it up here and ride a lot of the areas we ride with our KLR 650s to do a more direct comparison.
Do you mean we have to go back up to jump off Joe and ride through that powder dirt? That kind of hurt me last time.
Yep. If you haven't seen that video of Lurch biting in the powder dirt, you got to get on the YouTube channel and
hurt my ego.
It's a short. There's a short on there. It's on Instagram too.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's all over. We are on the Instagram there, guys, at Law Abiding Biker, the Twitter at Law Abiding Biker, TikTok at Law Abiding Biker, and of course, YouTube at Ryan Erlacher. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes on Instagram that we aren't posting anywhere else, and we're doing the shorts. You'll see them there too. Hit those shorts up on YouTube. That's a big thing. And they're pushing that hard, and we're in that game too. As we continue, you got to curve with the trends, and that's what we're doing. So don't worry, it's not taken away. We haven't changed anything on our wide videos or our long form content. We're just adding to that tools that we use.
Don't look at me. I was typing in the chat.
All right. Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, I don't multitask very well. Now I understand why sometimes when I say something, I say something and then you repeat it and I look at you and you say, "Did you already say that?"
Here's what I did like this morning, because I was trying to keep us on track, and I went, here's what I do. We'll both be on our computers working at coffee. This is behind the scenes. This is serious shit. And we'll be doing, whatever administrative stuff we're doing for the business. And I'll stop and I'll go, "Hey, I was thinking, Lurch, about this video that we're going to work on today. Here's Lurch." And he keeps typing and saying, "Here's what I do." I've never told Lurch this, but I have my tricks. This is what I do. After I say it, I back up from my computer and I go, and I just sit there and stare at him for a second. And he finally goes, Here, wait, we got it. Oh,
Hey,
we got to do the glasses.
Got my readers
Because he can't.
I'm getting old.
Well,
Can't
these
see
are
yet.
readers too, but I don't use those kind. Sorry, I'm not on the mic. And so he puts his glasses over his nose, and he'll be working on his computer. And as I'm sitting there, here's me staring at him. Here's what he finally does. He goes, takes his glasses off, sets them down. Now he's ready for a conversation. It's so true, isn't it? Me and Lurch have spent so much time together. We know each other. Oh, trust me. He could talk about 1,000 quirks I have. Trust me.
I'm just not a dick, and I don't share them all online or on podcasts like you do.
Oh God, dude. Good time. Okay.
It was bad enough when I couldn't see far, but now I can't see far and I can't see near, and I'm still figuring out what I like.
Well, I can't
best.
either, dude. Yeah. Well, I told Lurch he needs to just get glasses like this because that's all these are. They're just readers.
Yeah.
But I don't have to put them over my nose and I don't have to take them on and off. But I can read and I can see fine because I have everything's fine far. But
there's
so up here there's nothing.
Exactly. You have nothing up on top. You just have readers
Very
down below.
minor.
Yeah, I have prescription.
It is a
above
little different.
and prescription below, and so it's
Yep.
Yeah, I got a pair of glasses.
He's
that
working
have
on
that, and you constantly have to move. This is just easier. Like I can see you really well. I can see that really well.
Yep.
Does it look cool? No.
No, he doesn't.
Do
look
I care?
cool in any way?
Do I care?
Nope.
Don't give it a shit because I can see my screen. I can see you.
Kind of like the big hair growing out of your forehead right now.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Don't care.
All right, let's do this. And then we got one more awesome thing to talk to you guys about. Oh, yeah. Want to ride longer?
Yeah.
Treat your ass with some respect already. Good God. Protect that button.
Oh my God. So stupid.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. That's right. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. That's right. And it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat. Fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps to dampen those darn vibrations.
Yeah, those other ones that'll get the puncture and leak will get your button wet.
They will. You do not want a wet button at all. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. All right, guys, wrapping it up here. And anything going on in chat? I know there is. Is anything worth mentioning as I pop this up here and dive into the Bronx Streetfighter? Anything there, Lurch?
Eric Kruger says, I need a butt buffer. My wife stole mine.
Oh.
Yeah, don't let your wife sit on your butt buffer. Once she's felt it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
Hey, hit us up. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, we'll take care of
you.
you.
Rick will ship you another one. And inside of that package, you know what it's going to be in there?
Yep.
One free a good time.
Make sure you guys, too, if you're not, make sure you're using your Patreon member, mid-level or above, your patron member coupon code in the store because you get a discount. If you don't know what it is, hit up Rick Rick Kane.
Rick at lawabidingbiker.com.
Yeah, there you go. Rick at lawabidingbiker.com. And we will confirm that you are a mid-level or above patron member and when you apply that discount code. So there you go.
Or hell, send it to me, Matt at lawabidingbiker.com. I can look it up and send you the code.
Nice. And then just save that code, guys. Please don't share it. But if you do, we always confirm anyways that you're a mid-level above. It just gets some spam in there. We haven't had a problem with that. But that is an exclusive code for mid-level and above patron members that are confirmed before we accept the order. So, all right. Next, of course, the Bronx Streetfighter, guys. Do you want to talk about this a little bit? I've been talking a lot.
Well, it was supposed to come out in 2021. We did an episode on it, all excited about it. It was supposed to have the Revolution Max 975T, but it never came out. And Harley's never really confirmed if they've scrapped the project. But they came out with the Nightster 975T in 2022. So was it a concept bike? Is it going to come out? Don't know. Really cool looking bike. I think it'd be a lot of fun. When we say concept, maybe because it doesn't look like your typical Harley Davidson.
Right.
It's somewhere in between a crotch rocket and a Harley, don't you think? It's really funky.
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
It'd be a lot of fun, especially for just a fun bike. You know, you can have your touring bike, you can have your bar hopper, and then you can have your sport bike if you want. Very neat. But it never came out. I have no idea why. But recently, some information has been leaked out that Harley reapplied for the trademarks for the Bronx Streetfighter name. Ooh. Now, why would you reapply for trademarks for a name of a bike that you're not going to put out?
Yep.
This would lead me to believe that the thing's going to come out in the future, whether it's this year or next year. I don't know.
I'm
really
popping
cool
on the screen
bike.
real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm popping it on the screen while Lurch is talking, and you guys can see it in the video broadcast here.
And unlike the Buells that look very much like a street bike, this has definitely has some looks of a Harley. I mean, you can see the V-twin. It's kind of a good combination of a crotch rocket and a Harley. It's a beautiful looking bike. I think it's much cooler than the Buell or the V-Rod that I've heard it compared to.
Yeah, what's it close? Let's look up Indian. The FTR, is it close to let's see, is that the right Indian model that I'm thinking? Let's look. Yeah, so it's going to compete, and I think there's room in the market, obviously. So if we go over to there, like, let's go back and forth. You guys are looking at this on your screen right here. So there's looking at right here is the Street Fighter, and then there's the Indian FTR. So some similarities, without getting into the specs of the FTR. I think that this could be a competitor. Am I right on that?
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, it's definitely you can call it a crotch rocket, a cafe racer, whatever you want. The Indian has a little more upright bars. I think you lean a little forward and a little more down on the, maybe not.
Yeah.
It's just that high tank. It's that high tank on the Harley. But really cool.
Yep. And we'll see with that little bike, that light bike with the 975.
I like the Harley better than the Indian.
Yeah,
I do. At the two.
Looking at the style of them.
Yeah.
And obviously this one looks like it has some pipes and stuff on it, but I just picked the first picture I saw, but you could definitely dress this up here. But I agree.
When you look
the FDR is a sick bike too, though.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. I'm not a huge fan of that rear fender and license plate that comes off of the back of the swing arm. I think it looks weird. I've seen it on other bikes. I like that the Harley doesn't have that. You just see the rear tire.
Right. Yeah. So Street Fighter guys, I agree. My opinion is there's no reason they would reapply for the trademark name if they weren't at least interesting from taking that bike to concept to will we see it on the streets in 2023? I don't know. I don't know where they were on that project. I know that they had some mock-ups and different things, so I don't know how far away they are from production of something like that.
Everything looked like in 2021 it was going to come out, and it just didn't. There's no talk about it.
Right. I have to think, my gut tells me, and I told you this earlier, is I think Hardy wasn't sure about it. That was, at the time when they were changing CEOs to Jochen, and there was a lot of turmoil in the company, so to speak. I think they kind of scrapped the project and then realized how many people were pissed, because people were ready for the Street Fighter, especially that demographic.
Right.
I think they were ready for the Street Fighter. And I think Harley realizes now they're really good at market research now. We've done that on the podcast, right? With the Pan America, they're really good at market research. And I think they realize there's a big market for that style of bike with the Harley-Davidson brand on it. And I think they're like, okay, let's basically dust it off, put it back up on a lift, and let's figure this shit out, get the name back. My gut tells me it's coming. I don't know about 2023 because, again, I don't know where it was in production. I hope in 2023 because I hope I get invited to go test ride and review that badass bike. Well, I did the Nightster. It's got the 975, right?
Yeah.
So this bike's going to be fun. It's a different position, and
I think you'll be able to carve that thing even better in the corners because it's in a different, more of a calf face.
It's got more lean angle for sure.
Oh, crotch rocket style. But if you look at, just going back to the Pan America for a second, I mean, they knocked it out of the park with that thing. Yep. And I was one of the ones that was very skeptical. You can go back to the podcast and listen to me say, I'm not sure. Harley Davidson, do what you do.
Right.
Why are you jumping into these markets where, the KLR and these other bikes have been for years? And I had to eat crow. I was wrong. They killed it. So this is another market they could jump into, more of a crotch rocket cafe racer. And if they do what they did with the Pan America, it'll be a huge success.
Yep. I think they're seeing that now.
Yeah.
They're doing really good with marketing and with the development of bikes and getting stuff out there. So I think good things are to come. Now we love our patron members. We want to get to know you better. We want you in the private Facebook group. We want you in these live video broadcasts and chat. But hey, the only way you can support us is through a flat donation. We never balk at a flat donation. I want to thank the following people, Lurch.
Peter Hando, Douglas Emerson, and Joseph Malachi.
LAB-317-Biker.com/donate is how they did that. Also, if you go to the homepage of the Law Abiding Biker website, there's a donate button. That's right. It helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank,
so we can keep this thing running on down the road. And just to mention, that button he's talking about is not the button he was mentioning earlier in the podcast.
That is right. Different buttons. Yeah. So overall, let's wrap it up. Let's look at, scroll up in the comments there, see if there's anything to wrap up or any last things you guys have to say. All in all, as Lurch is looking through those comments there, what's that?
I was ready.
Oh, were you ready? As he's doing that, I'll just wrap up that I think 2023, I am, with the information that we've learned, I'm super excited, and I think Harley's going to do some great things. I think we have, and that's not just Harley. I think hopefully some other bike manufacturer will be stepping up to the plate too, and it's all good for the industry. But yeah. And we will be coming out with a video, guys. Make sure you check it out. Hopefully pop it. You guys are listening to this live, of course, so as of today is Friday. I'm going to edit it over the weekend, and hopefully I can have it out by Sunday or Monday. Make sure you check it out. It'll be a more succinct version, and share it around with all your biker friends so everybody can be aware and get excited for 2023 as we go into the fall here in 2022. Bam.
Eric Kruger says, speaking of the Bronx Streetfighter, how cool to have a Harley-Davidson sport bike. Best of both worlds for that demographic.
Yep. I would want one in my shop. Not going to happen because I don't got enough money, but I would like to have one. I'd rather have the Pan American 975, but yeah. Any last thoughts, Lurch?
2023 could be very interesting. The motor company's been very innovative last couple of years with Jochen at the helm, and our connection at Harley Davidson has told us to stand by. There's going to be some great things coming this year, so I look forward to it. Yeah,
interesting. Last thing, a little insight that I've never told anybody is I have a big wiener. No, I'm teasing. We had that up front. So when we went to Sturgis, Jochen as a CEO, I think he's doing a bang up job. I don't agree with everything like we talked about headquarters and working remotely, but that's, he's the CEO, that's his job. He gets to make those decisions, and then he has to reap the consequences, good or bad. But I will say he's very involved. He has really done a great job, and their marketing team that we work with, unbelievable people we've gotten to know, and great people. And I mean, motorcycle enthusiasts, which shows because they get it. And they're always taking, after we do events, they're always taking my and the other influencers, so to speak, if you want to call it influencers, test rider reviewers.
YouTubers.
I'm careful with that word. I don't know. It's a weird word because I feel like I'm just a biker helping bikers. But I want you to make your own. I just want to share information, and then you decide what you want to do. I don't want to influence you improperly. But anyways, they take feedback from us a lot because they're developing that. And I will tell you that when we went down to Sturgis for the Pan America, Jochen came in, and I was told by our contact that he literally sat down and watched our channel. He wants to know what his marketers are doing and who they're connecting with in the industry. And he actually watched our last video. Well, which one? I forget which one he watched of ours, but I think it was referenced to Pan America. Oh, on the virtual launch. He watched that one and saw, how excited we were and whatnot about that.
Yeah, so what we were told is he watched several of the channels that were invited down there to review the Pan America. He watched several of their videos, and we were told that he really liked what we were doing.
Yes.
Humbling, eh?
It is. It's humbling. Well, and it shows how undetached he is. Yeah. You're going to be a little bit detached when you're the CEO of a company that large, but he's not. He rides and he connects with, down to the marketer. I mean, he's like, that's weird.
From what I recall is he rode out to Sturgis too. He didn't fly out.
Yeah. I think I remember that too. And then he rode with a group down there. But anyways, just a little tidbit of information. There you go, guys. Let's take it out of here. We appreciate everybody being in here in the live broadcast, of course, and the live chat right here. We love our patron members. We hope it was a fun episode.
I enjoyed it. Except for when you made fun of me.
Yeah, well, which time?
Well, I wasn't going to be specific. I meant overall.
Yeah, right. Overall, there was a lot of times I made fun of you, but some of them you didn't even get.
I just ignore them.
Right over your head.
Yeah, I can only take so much.
Because you can't multitask.
I can only take so much.
Anyways, yeah, thanks guys for being here. It was fun here on a Friday evening. A lot coming in 2023. Lurch, we're going to have to, you may have mentioned it, we're going to have to bump this episode up. So make sure to come out, because the regular listeners are going to get this in 2023. We want to make sure that doesn't happen.
No, it'll actually be the next episode. It'll come out the first 5 or 6 days in November. In the first week of November, it'll be out.
Yep. And don't forget, patron members, if you're listening in a regular podcast format, do not forget that all podcast episodes, whether we do them live like this, video, or we just do audio, they're all uploaded into your patron accounts, the back end of your patron accounts, months before they'll ever come out on the public app. So don't forget to check in. Even if you can't catch it live, or you want to hear about the episodes, make sure you log into your patron account, and you get access, mid-level and above, get access to that stuff early.
And as I mentioned earlier, we were playing around with commercials during the episodes. Those raw episodes that we record and put into your patron account will not have any ads other than the host-read ones.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you won't get the, in your patron accounts, that's another benefit, is you'll only get the host-ridden ads. You won't get the extras. Nicely said. I appreciate
the raw ones we upload early.
Right, the raw ones yes. The raw ones that you get early, yes. We also publish in your patron account when they come out,
right, just
as a follow-up, right?
Yes.
As a follow-up, they're totally produced and all that. We're talking about early access ones. Anyways, it's simple. Whenever you get a chance, just go to your patron accounts, log in, and if you're mid-level or above, see what access you have, and it'll post everything that you have access to. And putting a lot in there, guys, trying to continue to give you guys benefits, as many benefits as we can, because we love y'all. We love you so much. Thanks, Chris Lezak. Oh, I didn't know he was in there. Good. Great show, guys. Good. Get out there and freaking ride, guys. We got us we're done here, and then we got to meet a couple guys. We got a little sworn few motorcycle club meeting we got to do tonight. I'm sure a lot will get accomplished, probably not. We're going to eat food and drink beer, though.
I've got an agenda.
He does have an agenda. Always. Just don't try to have a multitask. Oh, God, dude. We didn't even do a call to action. Here's a call to action. Continue to support us, shop in our store. We're adding a ton of products, guys, and it is a big reason, and another reason, or another way that you can support us. So shop in the law-abiding biker store. Big Daddy Kane's adding products like a madman down there.
It's like a one-legged guy in a butt-kicking contest.
Nice. Peace, everybody.